Hi, everybody. New Jersey forensic accountant here, Robert Bonavito. Today, we're going to talk about pro se, the greatest victory in the last 50 years. This is a case that I actually had against Harvard University as a pro se litigant involving some graduate courses I was taking up at the school. And here's an article that appeared that kind of gives you a really good understanding of the case quickly. This is an article written by Lisa Hayes. It appeared in many of the major newspapers. It says Harvard loses. New Jersey federal judge advances a consumer fraud action. Judge Michael A. Shipp of New Jersey District Court ruled on June 30th, 2021, that Harvard's motion to dismiss is denied. Robert Bonavito, plaintiff, prevailed over defendant Harvard University, who entered the litigation with a hoard of cash of $50 billion and a phalanx of the company's top lawyers. Harvard was outmaneuvered by a tough and persistent underdog pro se plaintiff. I was interviewed for this article. Harvard refused to be interviewed, though. Bonavito said, the policies at the country's top universities tend to reflect power relationships of major social groups. These power relationships has resulted in current policies at Harvard that have a strong discrimination bias based on age, gender, and race. This lawsuit will put an end to that discrimination once and for all. A lot of people felt that this case was one of the most important dealing with discrimination since the Brown versus Board of Education Topeka, which stopped racial segregation. So here's why this battle was considered a pro se victory, because it went into these courts. And again, no lawyers on my side. They had the top lawyers in the country. New Jersey Superior Court, United States District Court of New Jersey. 2 federal district court judges ruled in my favor in New Jersey. United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit. United States District Court, Massachusetts. Massachusetts Judicial Conduct Proceeding. Massachusetts Petition for Review of Judicial Conduct Proceeding. United States Court of Appeals, First Circuit, and probably the Supreme Court. And really the whole case revolved around something that Harvard would never win, which was I actually took the courses and passed them, these advanced courses at Harvard. This is an official transcript, and it shows that I passed all these courses, met all the requirements at Harvard University, and had over 3.6, 3.7 GPA. So let's go through what happened in New Jersey, just to give you guys a flavor for pro se. And like I said, there's a part 1 which will go into more of, pro se, how it works in the court system and stuff like that. But generally, you're frowned upon. There's no help for you. Judges hold you to a higher standard than the other side, which is, a Supreme Court says they shouldn't do that. But here's a quick summary. The complaint was filed in New Jersey District Court, had 7 counts, including age, gender, discrimination, fraud, and violation of the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act. Here's a copy of the complaint, and obviously, all this was done by myself. Really didn't want to have anybody involved in it, any friends or anything like that, because it wouldn't be fair to them, and no major law firms would help me. And the fees were over $13 million, just being pro se, believe it or not. Would have been twice that if I could get a firm, but there was no one really interested in beating Harvard in court. But here's the complaint in it, and obviously Consumer Fraud Act, fraud, negligent misrepresentation, and breach of contract, age discrimination, and gender discrimination. And I did, to prepare for the lawsuit, I did take Harvard law classes, how to do case law, how to research case law, how to write briefs and stuff like that. But these guys were far better than I. I mean, they do it for a living. I don't. I just was forced into the situation. So if you're going to go pro se, you better do some homework. And what happened next was they filed a notice to remove for diversity. And you could see they basically had a notice to remove because I was a New Jersey resident, and allegedly Harvard is in Massachusetts. They're in Massachusetts, which is true, but all the information, everything happened in New Jersey, even though I was up at Harvard taking courses, etc. The real crux of the case is a New Jersey case. But they did file this. I didn't fight it because I didn't mind going to district court. I thought it would help me more, closer to my office. So we agreed with this, and we let them take us up to the district court of New Jersey. This is where they filed a motion to dismiss the complaint because they thought they could easily get it dismissed and move the case to District Massachusetts. Um, obviously they're up against a pro se. They're pretty confident they're going to get it dismissed. I did. And the interesting thing, they knew that I didn't know that if once they got it in Massachusetts, with judges and the system up there would make it a lot more difficult for a pro se litigant. That's why they wanted to move it up there. I filed an opposition to their motion on November 23rd. They were a little bit shocked by the quality of this opposition because they realized we had very strong arguments, and they asked for an extension of time. And I don't mind. I'll give them as much. Give them as much time as they need. I'm not really here. I'm here to look at facts. I didn't realize that they're not really concerned with facts. They're concerned about having judges and juries that are favorable to them. But I said, listen, you guys want more time? Take as much time as you want. But they kind of got the idea they were going to in for a battle. So they filed a reply brief, and in that reply brief, they had documentation that was taken from Harvard's records and transported across state lines. And so they took this information from my personal records, put it on a public website, which tremendous damage. This alone made this a completely New Jersey case. And I filed what's called a surreply showing, that it was a New Jersey case. And I also filed a motion to seal the confidential information that they had taken from my records, put on New Jersey websites, causing substantial damages. They filed opposition papers because I wanted to amend the complaint to include the attorneys because they're the ones who put that stuff and somehow obtained it. I don't know how they got the information on the website. I filed a motion to seal the stolen information. They filed a reply brief addressing defendants' concern in their opposition brief. And here's where we started to win. First, the federal district court, Alpert, issued an order to seal the documents that were stolen from personal databases at Harvard and transported across state lines. Okay, this makes it a New Jersey case. This alone makes it a New Jersey case. Let me show you that rule. So here's the ruling by, motion to seal. They basically agree with me. They said the court considers the following factors: the nature of the material, legitimate private public interest that warrants clearly defined serious injury would result. So they're basically saying, okay, you guys took information from private databases at Harvard, you transferred it across state lines, put it on a public website, they sealed it. This case changed when they did this, okay? And that's why we filed amended complaint to bring the attorneys in, and also they requested to seal the records. And we won. This is one of the reasons it's the greatest pro se victories in the last 50 years. But it gets even better. And then Shipp comes with his ruling. And what does he say? He says, okay, they denied the dismissal of the case. So now Harvard has a wake-up call. Okay, even though we're pro se, we have no help. They have the best attorneys. They got unlimited money. They're losing the case. And that's why they wrote the article. However, the case was transferred up to Harvard, but now everybody knows it's a legitimate case and we should have discovery and a jury trial. Here's the memorandum opinion issued by the judge. You can see it's Judge Shipp. And here's the key to, for the reasons set, defendant's motion to dismiss is denied. Okay, this means we get discovery and a jury trial, and that's all we want in this case. All Harvard wants is to move this up to Massachusetts and get it dismissed because they don't want discovery, they don't want a jury trial. We did file an appeal, and the appellate court said we understand there is concerns here. However, the case does not have a final opinion. It's just being moved up to Massachusetts, so they ruled that they couldn't do anything, even though they agreed with us on many of the major facts in the appeal. So it gets moved up to Massachusetts, and things get really interesting up there. There's a hearing that you will not believe. You will absolutely be shocked by. So if you're really interested, check out part 3, which is the litigation in Massachusetts. And number 4, we have a complete video on the hearing, which was unbelievable. Amazing what happened out there. Listen, guys, if you like this, please smack the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks a lot.